Some fans believe it will happen. Juventus with Ronaldo number 7 on the back of the new shirt. Gab Marcotti, as promised, joins us on the show. Gab, any news?
No, I mean, as you said, we were told something would happen early in the week, and an agreement in principle was all there. It hasn't happened today on Monday, so we'll see. Early in the week, stretches to Tuesday, we'll see what happens. Clearly, every vibe that's coming from Ronaldo's people is that the deal is agreed. They have not put pen to paper. It's a question, I think, of taking this important step, which is Cristiano making an announcement saying he's going to go. I think it's very important to Real Madrid that it's clear that it's Cristiano wanting to move on after 9 seasons, 4 Champions League titles, 5 Ballon d'Ors, or 4 Ballon d'Ors, I guess, with Real Madrid. That's something that's very important. I think negotiating the terms of that. Remember today, you had this tweet from Karim Benzema where he didn't officially say goodbye, but it certainly felt that way in the language that he used. You had Luis Enrique being announced as the new Spain manager. So it's entirely possible that is what held this up from Cristiano's perspective.
Gab, you don't need me to tell you that the Italian league used to be the league in Europe. Of course, it was then overtaken by the Premier League. How much could Ronaldo moving to Juventus be a catalyst for Italian football to return to those glory days?
I don't know, Dan. I mean, well, and first of all, we are speaking hypotheticals here, just to be very clear. Deals hit last-minute snags all the time, so this is not done yet, and it could yet take some time. But should it go through, people are making a really big deal out of it, as if this alone is going to take Serie A back to where it was. It's going to take a lot more than that, but I think a lot of positive things have happened over the last 2 or 3 years in terms of very talented young players, in terms of clubs being run better and more seriously, in terms of certain individuals being made to pay for their mistakes. So, the league is coming back slowly, organically, if you will, but I think what Cristiano would do is help take a giant leap forward and then hopefully stimulate some kind of virtuous cycle which would help accelerate the return of Serie A. So it's not going to do it on its own. It's not going to do it without the framework, which is already in place and which is growing, but it has to continue to grow.
Let's take Mbappe out of the picture.
Okay.
You're Florentino Perez. Who do you get?
So all things being equal, and all of those names that we've been talking about are available, I go after Harry Kane. I need somebody who can score goals. Ronaldo, with him gone, that level of productivity is also gone. So I go after Harry Kane, and then I need a playmaker behind him or alongside him. And if that's the case, I don't go after Neymar. I go after Eden Hazard.
Right.
And so at this point in their careers, I believe more in Eden Hazard in the sense that, okay, he's going to complement Harry Kane better than Neymar would. I wouldn't have said that before the tournament. I wouldn't have said that before this Champions League with PSG and Neymar. But I'm saying that now simply because I think it's a better fit with Kane and Hazard.
Harry Kane.
I agree absolutely with Ali. Harry Kane will give you goals. Ronaldo is a goal scorer. He's not a playmaker anymore. He's not somebody who's going to go past people with the ball. He's a goal scorer. And I think that Harry Kane is a great goal scorer. He's proved it over the last 2 years. He hasn't played brilliantly in the World Cup, but he's still scored goals, some of it from the penalty spot. But I think he'll do a really good job.
There's also a history of Spurs selling players to Real Madrid. So there's obviously been some business transactions between Perez and Daniel Levy. So maybe it's just a knock on the door and says, look, we can help pay for that new stadium that you just built. And Harry Kane can help pay for that.
But all these names we're talking about, there's a fair percentage chance that it doesn't happen.
You've got to ask the question, haven't you?
But you've got to make sure you get something. So what's wrong with Lewandowski at Bayern? He's been trying to talk his way out of there. They don't seem to be very happy with what he's saying either. It wasn't particularly brilliant last season, I will admit. But the guy's got quality, and so at the end of the day, if you can't
get Kane, you go for Lewandowski.
I just want to go back to Kane for a moment. Daniel Levy?
He'd be under a bit of pressure, wouldn't he, from the Tottenham fans?
Yeah, he would.
Emigrate.
In the past, he sold, as soon as a big offer comes in, he sold his best players.
If you're Harry Kane, you'd want to go. Yeah? Is that just...
I'm not sure, because he loves Spurs. I think he feels comfortable there. Is he someone that would get homesick? You know, so sometimes
I agree.
players go somewhere and they don't always fit in. They're not quite happy. Then he's loved by the Tottenham fans. He's loved by everybody in England at the moment, Harry Kane. If he goes somewhere else and suddenly he's questioned, will he be able to make sure that he doesn't crumble?
What if he goes and he does well?
That's it. So only he will know that. Only he will know that.
What do you think, Stevie?
Listen, as a professional player, I think you have to try and play with the best. And if it means breaking a few hearts along the way, sometimes it just happens. And if I'm Harry Kane, I'm going to Real Madrid.
You someone like Rush, who was probably the best striker in world football at one point. He went to Juventus and couldn't play at all. Had to go back to Liverpool eventually.
This, of course, all depends really on whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo joins Juventus. Be sure to keep an eye on ESPNFC.com. If and when this happens, we will be breaking it there. Goodness me, what a story that would be. Let's focus now, shall we, on the first semi-final. France taking on Belgium. The bookies have got France coming in as favourites, 11-8 on Belgium. Meanwhile, 11-10. I don't think we've done one of these for a while, but just to please Craig, Robbo, what is your combined 11?
My combined 11.
We would have both squads.
Yeah, well, I was gone for a back four. Courtois I had put in goal. Pavard, I think, has had an excellent tournament so far. Alderweireld and Varane as the centre-backs. And I put Vertonghen at left-back. Pogba, Kante and De Bruyne in midfield. And then you see Mbappe out on the right-hand side. Hazard on the left. Lukaku up front. How can you argue with that?
So no Griezmann?
No. Who would he come? Who is he better than? Mbappe, Lukaku or Hazard? No argument. Any good?
Can't believe he split the centre defenders up. You never split defenders up. Varane and Umtiti it had to be.
Did it?
Can't split the defenders.
I think Alderweireld's a better player than Umtiti.
Probably, but there's no telepathy with Varane then, you see.
It's not about putting them in the team. It's about the players who have played well. But Craig, any arguments?
No, not on a Sunday.
Courtois or Lloris?
Yeah, not on a Sunday.
Maybe on a Monday, lad. But
I think both of them have had good tournaments. I think Lloris came up big in their quarterfinal, just as Courtois did.
Courtois or Lloris?
Who would you pick, mate?
I think as a former Spurs player, I got to pick Lloris.
There you go.
So
his team's wrong then.
What was his team?
If a goalie picked Lloris, that's
I
the
didn't
end
get a
of it.
chance
Yeah,
to
both
count.
of them had good
I don't
tournaments.
have a calculator with me. How many from each team were in?
Do you need a calculator to count?
I was being facetious. Now shut up.
Oh, I'm not sure, actually, to be honest. Half and half, I think.
6 and 5.
6 and 5.
6 and 5.
That'll be
And the manager, I
that'll be
put down,
half
that was what we
and
didn't
half.
talk about, the
12th
manager, Roberto Martinez,
Oh, wow.
over Didier Deschamps, because he's had a good tournament, I think. Roberto Martinez. So I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the tournament, but come the end of the tournament, he's made the right decisions so far.
So Belgium are going to win it then?
No, France.
England are favourites to advance to the final, according to the bookies. Croatia coming in at 13-10. You want more combined 11s? Let's bring it, Robbo.
Well, I've got a lot of
England are
England.
well represented.
They are.
Here.
I've gone for Pickford in goal, a back three. I've stuck with the back three, and as Mac said earlier on, I've got to stick with the teams that are doing well, the players that are doing well. They've got good understanding. Walker, Stones, Maguire, Young and Trippier in the wing-backs position. Kane centre forward, but the players that come in for Croatia, Perisic on the left-hand side. I think Rebic has had a good World Cup, and in midfield, Modric and Rakitic. So that's the area where Croatia could cause England problems, central midfield.
Raheem Sterling didn't get up front for
No,
you?
he didn't. No,
Okay.
no.
I thought you might have.
He's done great work, he just can't score.
Another one of the many who hate Raheem Sterling at this World Cup.
No,
it seems.
I like Raheem Sterling.
It's not like you, that, Robbo. I thought you would all
Because
right
his
with both of them.
tattoo or what?
No, I like him, but I don't think he's good enough to get in that team. I wasn't playing with two up front. I'm playing with Rebic wide and Perisic on the other side.
And came through the centre.
And came through the centre.
Any problems with that?
Nope.
Any problems with that?
Well, I thought you might.
What about the goalkeeper? Come on. Come on.
It was funny.
Which one?
Where
Who
he-
did you have in?
Where he
I don't
was
think
injured
Perisic
a little
is
bit
fit.
during
I
the
don't think
game,
Perisic
and you
has been
thought,
great, has he?
did he do his
Perisic-
hamstring? Did he not? I think he just had a cramp, and then they got all excited about that.
So
he
Pickford was
going
right
to-
then.
I think Pickford has performed extremely well.
How many other combined 11s have you done today?
Two.
Casey,
Funny, that's
would
'cause
you
only two
have
games.
Subasic or Pickford if it comes down to penalty shootouts? Because Subasic seems to be a much bigger goalkeeper.
I think both of them have performed well, but Subasic, I think there was that big question mark. Oh, is he injured? Is he not injured? What's going to happen? And
I think the referee are going to keep a big eye on him because he can.
Big eye.
Yeah,
Well,
big
left
eye.
or right?
Yeah.
Oh, he was coming off.
He was
There
coming
no
off his
doubt.
line, and the
And they-
referee told him.
And they didn't have to
Put
call
up
it
his
because
biggest-
there was nothing that happened when he came off that was an
Because
issue.
they missed the target.
Yeah, exactly.
Or scored.
Right.
Hello, welcome to Extra Time. A belated happy birthday to Alejandro Moreno.
Hey!
Happy birthday, Ali.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was great to see you guys out last night.
Well, it was lovely to see you. Very nice.
I'm not sure Dan saw you, though, did he?
Well, he saw me. I don't know if he remembers me.
I think you saw 3 of you. I think everybody saw.
Here's a tip. Don't try and keep up with Steve McManaman and Craig Burley. We get into a little bit of trouble.
Or Steve Nicol, for that matter. You want
He wasn't there, though. That's all right, though.
It's Hall of Fame over there.
Gab Marcotti is here as well. He wasn't there because he's in Russia.
Oh, of course.
There he is. Gab, should Liverpool sign Paulo Dybala? Rumours are he leaves if Ronaldo arrives in Juventus.
Yeah, well, I think Juventus, hoping not to have to sell Paulo Dybala. They hope to raise their money in other ways, but I'm not sure Dybala would be a great fit for Liverpool. He's a phenomenal footballer, but I'm not sure he's really the type of guy with the engine to naturally fit into that front three, which, frankly, I think are pretty good the way they are now. I think if Liverpool are going to go and spend some money, there's certainly other areas of the pitch I would spend the money on. Maybe goalkeeper, maybe center back, maybe another body in midfield since Emre Can is gone. I just don't see Dybala as a priority for Liverpool.
Stephen.
Could not agree more.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, great player, no question. Ability, you name it. Talented, but it doesn't fit the way Liverpool play the game.
I think Stevie Lovren could be a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
After all the stick you've given him.
And Lukaku.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't both be World Cup winners.
No.
Well, no, but one of them.
Player of the tournament so far, Lukaku, obviously. Robbo?
Oh, player of the tournament so far, I'm going to go for not an expensive player, Conte. He's still been, in his role, he's still by far and away the best in the world.
I had Harry Kane as the Golden Boot winner before the tournament started.
Yep.
He hasn't been the best player.
Well done, Casey.
He hasn't been the best player.
He's leading the charge. You score goals, you win it. I think if England can get to the final, Harry Kane's my man.
I would have said N'Golo Kante, but since Stewie took that, I'm going to go with Luka Modric.
Yes.
And if he's able to push Croatia past England into the final, I think he may just have that wrapped up.
Gab?
Yeah, I'm with Ali on this one, and I'm only saying this because he was kind enough to FaceTime me yesterday from his birthday party, so I could wish him happy birthday as well. So I'm going to join him and say Luka Modric. I'm sorry, Ali, I had to tell them. You did feel a little lonely, so I'm glad I was able to be a part of it.
I'll tell you something.
Was it menu advice?
This is a secret that's coming. You didn't want that coming out, did you?
No, I don't want any coming out with me FaceTiming Gab at any point.
Oh,
Did your wife know?
I didn't know.
Okay. Who is the best player you ever played against?
I've had the good fortune of playing against Messi and Neymar and a few others, but I got to tell you, at his best, the best player was original Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo. He was something else.
Casey?
I usually try to go against the guys that scored a few goals against me.
Okay. Well, that's a long list.
Yeah, it is. Alan Shearer scored some great goals against me. Dennis Bergkamp scored a phenomenal hat trick against me the day after my kids were born.
Wow.
And Bergkamp was as good got.
Bergkamp?
Yep.
Georgie Hadji.
Oh, yeah.
What a magnificent player he was. He was playing for Bari at the time. But he was brilliant. Romanian.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
Come on, who else?
Sorry?
Yeah, go on then. You're one. You've played against a few.
Played against him. The one that gave me the most trouble, but a lot of people maybe wouldn't even know, an old Real Madrid guy, Gordillo.
Right.
She couldn't walk the guy out.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk the guy out.
Because he looked kind of gangly and kind of awkward,
Aye.
yet he would run past you.
Yeah. Couldn't walk him out.
Well, not many people could.
No.
Dan?
Ronnie Williams was good.
Your son.
Yeah, it was all right. My son. And that is it. We are done.
What's Ronnie Williams doing these days?
I don't know what he's doing now. we don't keep in contact.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Ronnie. St Michael's under 11s. What a day. What a moment.
In Cornwall.
Yes, yeah.
Go
In Cornwall.
Stevie was trying to figure out who Ronnie Williams was. Right?
Who did he play for?
I'm sorry, who's that player?
That
Cut the grass properly.
what do you mean?
You had plenty of tractors. You really, at least the field would have been good there.
Beautiful fields.
Yeah, plenty of tractors to use for there.
You're thinking of Suffolk and Norfolk tractors, not Cornwall.
Cornwall. What are you on about?
We've got plenty of tractors down there, haven't we?
What in Cornwall?
No, you got more tractors down there in Cornwall.
Little dinghies and boats.
Dinghies and boats. There's farmers down, isn't it? Big industry, the farming industry down. Have you ever been to Cornwall?
Yes.
Are you
Once or
sure?
twice on holiday. Very nice.
We obviously never saw any tractors.
No tractor. I didn't go to a farm. I went to a hotel.
Right, that's it. Cornwall's very beautiful, by the way. Just check it out. Extra time is done. The show, meanwhile, is here tomorrow. We'll be looking back, of course, France against Belgium. Should be a belter, shouldn't it? The game, not the show. Well, the show will be good as well.
Maybe.
This time last year, he was the star of the show, making that massive move to PSG. Hasn't been the best of 12 months, hasn't been the best few weeks, let's face it, for the Brazilian. And he's come out and said, I can say that this is the saddest moment of my career. It's hard to find the strength to play soccer again, but I'm sure God will give me strength enough to face anything. Mac, this Neymar to Real Madrid thing is something that has been bubbling, hasn't it?
Yes.
Do you like it? Does it make sense to you, in a sense that this is a player who just 12 months ago made that big move to PSG, already kind of thinking about the next step?
You never know what was in the mind. He would never move from Barcelona to Real Madrid because we know the politics of that. So maybe Paris Saint-Germain was just a convenient stopgap.
If you were Real Madrid, would you pull out all the bells and whistles to get him?
I think the president wants to bring him in. I think the president is obsessed with bringing him in, but getting it over the line is another thing, isn't it? It's
You wouldn't say he's done himself a lot of favours
No,
in the
not at
World
all.
Cup. You know, if the president's now looking at Neymar, I think some of the supporters wouldn't be quite so happy with seeing his performances, seeing his antics, seeing the way he's played. Again, he wants to be the star of the show, which without Ronaldo, he could be the star of the show. But he's got to get his attitude much better than we've seen.
But he's a good, very good.
He's a very good player.
I think people would brush over that.
Yeah, if Ronnie goes and he brings him in, it'll be fine.
We talked about it because it was relevant and it was current and it was stupid. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's a heck of a player.
Yeah.
And I think they will. I mean, if we are talking any of the Hazard, Mbappe, as much as I like Mbappe and Neymar, he's the bells and whistles saying. He's the big star.
Yeah.
So that would certainly smooth it over if Ronaldo goes, him coming in. And we know at some point he's going to screw his head and stop all this, but particularly at Real Madrid, and get the job done. So.
But he's not going to give you the goals that Ronaldo's given. So there's no player that can give you the goals. Mbappe may be, in time, the player that can give those goals.
Who would you have?
I would go for Mbappe.
Would you?
I'm not a Neymar fan, as I've said last year. I think he's all for himself. I wouldn't build a team around him. And when you're buying a player of that expense, you're building a team around him.
Is Ronaldo not all for himself?
But you can still build a team around him because
well.
he does the right things for the team as well. I'm not sure Neymar does.
Who would you have, Macca? Mbappe or Neymar? If Florentino rang you up and went, oi, who shall I choose?
Brings them up.
If it was now to hit the ground running, Neymar.
Right.
I think in a long-term prospect, of course, Mbappe, I think, will be a new superstar. But for now, for European football, in La Liga, it would be him. It would be Neymar.
Karim Benzema sending out a message on social media today via Twitter talking about how it's been 9 years since he since he first put on that Real Madrid shirt, and talking about how proud he's been to defend the colors. Now, he stopped short of saying that he was actually going to leave and move on, but that's how a lot of people are reading it, because there's been a ton of speculation around the Real Madrid center forward for some time. So the big question is, does this foreshadow a move? Obviously, he's been linked with a number of clubs, including Napoli, for example. He had a very good relationship with Carlo Ancelotti when he was the Real Madrid manager, and obviously Ancelotti is there now. So I think this is one of those watch this space type situations. Of course, the other more illustrious member of Real Madrid's front line, who also joined the club 9 years ago, his future still in question, still being decided in these hours. But you do wonder if that Benzema, the rather cryptic Benzema tweet, doesn't indicate that, perhaps if there is going to be a rebuild at the Bernabeu this season, it's going to involve not one but maybe two members of what we used to call the BBC. Luis Enrique is back in football, back in the big time, back in a different role. He's been named as the new manager of the Spanish national team. Of course, for most people, we saw him last saw him in the big time, managing Barcelona and actually winning a treble. Easy to forget. Since then, he's been linked with a number of jobs, Arsenal and Chelsea in the Premier League, to see, because given that he is seen as certainly much more of a Barcelona guy than a Real Madrid guy, given the tension between the Spanish FA and Real Madrid following the sacking of Lopetegui, personal tension between Florentino and Luis Rubiales. So it's going to be interesting to see how he negotiates that, how he handles that. But no question, tactically, they've gotten themselves a very, very good coach. Whether he can deliver on the man management side, that remains to be seen.